Hello everybody and welcome to this masterclass ethical hacking course. Now in this video I will explain what we are going to do in this course, what we will learn, and also what you will need in order to attend this course. It will be updated up to the newest knowledge, newest attacks, and newest penetration testing methods. First of all, we are going to set up our hacking lab because for anyone that is a beginner in ethical hacking, it is always the best idea to set up an ethical hacking virtual environment. So if you mess up anything with your virtual machine, then you can just delete it and start all over again. We are going to use VirtualBox in order to create our virtual hacking environment. And as our hacking operating system, we're going to install Kali Linux. Besides the Kali Linux, we're also going to install some different machines throughout the actual course, which are going to be our targets, such as, for example, the vulnerable websites, such as, for example, some Windows machines that are going to be vulnerable for some specific exploits that we are going to perform later on. And after we set up our lab, we will go into the Linux basics, and there we will actually learn basic Linux commands, basic Linux configuration, and everything you need to know in order to actually be able to navigate through the Linux system. Now, for anyone who is actually already familiar with all of these steps, feel free to skip first few sections such as Linux basics and introductory video and get straight into hacking. After the Linux basics, after we cover the terminal and its commands, we're going to get into the first phase of a penetration test, and that is going to be the information gathering and footprinting. There we're going to cover active and passive footprinting. We're going to cover some interesting things such as, for example, stealing and finding target emails with different tools, gathering valuable information, network scanning, and so on and so on. After it, we're going to perform the advanced evasion of firewall, IDS, and honeypots using the Nmap tool, which is the most famous tool for the scanning in penetration tests. Now, if you don't understand anything that I'm talking about, don't worry, we're going to cover all of this throughout this course. We're going to cover how we can bypass IDS, IPS, what are honeypots, why we should avoid them. We're also going to cover how to evade firewall with advanced Nmap scanning. After we finish that, we're going to cover vulnerability analysis, and then we're going to go to the straight up hacking, which is gaining access to a network by cracking wireless passwords, by creating evil twin wireless access point, which is going to be able to actually allow us as an attacker to steal the wireless password from a target that is going to connect back to us. After it, we are going to simply just perform the man-in-the-middle attack and see how man-in-the-middle attack works. The man-in-the-middle is one of the most famous attacks regarding ethical hacking, and we're going to cover it in great details and see what we can do and what are our possibilities using this attack. After it, we're going to go straight into the system hacking section, where we're going to cover one of the most famous ethical hacking tools, which is the Metasploit framework. And there we're going to cover a bunch of different exploits and a bunch of different attacks that we can perform on different targets. After it, we're also going to have some of the coding sections, so make sure that you get ready for that, because we're going to cover coding different tools in multiple programming languages, such as, for example, in Python and C. We're also going to create some exploits in the website penetration testing section using JavaScript code. So it would be best if you actually knew some or had some previous programming knowledge. But if you don't worry. I'm going to cover all the steps through coding the tools. Now, what I am not going to do is I'm not going to cover the actual programming language itself. So it would be best if you would actually take some programming language course before going to those sections where we actually code our own tools. Now, the tools that we are going to code are reverse shell in Python. We're going to code a bunch of other Python tools. We're also going to code something like a brute forcer to a login fork, possibly a port scanner, and also in C, at the end of the course, which is going to be the most advanced section, we're going to create undetectable advanced malware that we are going to code from scratch. Okay, so those are just some of the things that we are going to cover right here. So I hope you are ready for that. I also hope that you will like this course. Once again, anything that you might have as a question, feel free to post it in the question section and I will make sure to answer it as soon as possible. Of course, if you have any advice, such as, for example, what should I add to this course? If you have any idea, for example, social media hacking or something like that, if you want to see that in the course, feel free to propose in the question section and I will make sure to add that as well as soon as possible. So, hope you enjoyed this little preview of the course and I hope I will see you in the hacking lessons. Take care. Bye.